my lovelies, Barbara here with another tarot reading for the week ahead. It's Monday, the 7th of July 2025. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I certainly did, because I was in Glastonbury. I'm not referring to the festival, I'm actually referring to the town, which is my, not only my spiritual home, but it's my ancestral home as well, because I can trace my family so far back there. It's amazing. Anyway, I had a fantastic time. Anyway, let's get on with your reading. So the other week I did after tarot, because that's the deck, and this time I thought we'll do before tarot. So there's the box, bit battered again. I said I used to take this one. I used to do tarot club in person, like before COVID. These are one of the decks I used to take along. Anyway, so that's the back of the cards. Very nice. And we have, oh my goodness, a Three of Swords. But remember, this is before tarot. So all these cards represent sort of what the querent is seeing or experiencing before Rider-Waite, traditional Rider-Waite. So as you can see, we've got Three Swords coming towards this heart as opposed to being in them. So this is great. This is actually sort of a pre-warn of things that could be bubbling up over this weekend. So week. So it's very much a case of, you know, forearmed is forewarned. Is that what they say? So just be aware in your surroundings, whether it's at home or at work, perhaps your neighbours or anything like that. What do you need to keep a lid on? Now, it could be that you're bubbling up with some sort of anger, it could be, or discontent, or something. It might not be you, it might be somebody else who's like thinking, well, I'm not very happy about this. I think I need to step up and say something. Because remember, swords are all about communication as well as thought process and things like that. So this is the week to actually think, use that thought process and communicate in a very controlled, not controlling, but controlled manner. Don't lose it if somebody says the wrong thing, you know, to you. Don't, just because it'll get out of control if you do. But if you head it off at the pass, it's going to be fine. It's going to be so smooth. It's going to be one of those things, think, crikey, I had a close one there. And it's also a week, I feel, bearing in mind, remember threes, I'm going to 3, 2, 1 then, if anybody remembers that. Threes are all about roots going down. So you have the solidity within your mind and within yourself that you can actually deal with this potential problem that's coming in. So literally take control within yourself as well. You know, realize that actually you can deal with anything that gets thrown at you this week, and you can what's the word I always use, how do I normally say, you can see solutions before they become a problem. And that's going to be very, very important. And I'm thinking of Police 5 that used to be on TV back in the 70s and 80s, because I'm old and I remember these things. You know, used to say, be vigilant, you know, keep your eyes peeled. And it's almost like a situation with that. And it may not be directly to do with you. You know, it might be something you're not involved in as such, but you're on the peripheral and you will be brought in if you don't deal with it right at the beginning. So if you do think ahead and sort things out, sort those problems out before they arise, so they don't cause any heartache or anything like that, you get the Ten of Pentacles. And remember, this is before tarot. So if you think about traditional Rider-Waite, there's the guy with the beard, you know, he's full of wisdom and everything, and he's got 2 dogs down by his side, and there's a couple with a small child, and they're wandering off under the gate, or under the, whatever you want to call, bridge or whatever, into like the town beyond. Now, if you look here, do you see what it means by before tarot? So I don't know if I can get it without it going out of focus. The guy's actually holding puppies. She is actually holding a baby. And do you recall when I always say with a 10, if you think of 1 + 0 = 1, this is literally a new beginning. So going back to that Three of Swords, if you contain that possible, and I don't know what the words just popped into my head here, resentment. So there could be a little bit of resentment, not from you, but from other people, which are completely unfounded. So that's why you have to make an effort and smooth things over before they get worse, sort of thing. Perhaps tell a few home truths, but in a nice way. Practice beforehand if you're going to say something to someone. So here we have, it's the beginning of something new, something you can nurture. Back to the Three of Swords, although you've got a heart there, this is something you can nurture for long term, because the baby has to grow, the puppies have to grow to become their companions at the side of the guy. So do you see how these two work together? That in itself, it's so weird looking at these cards because they're known they're before tarot. So here we have the Wheel of Fortune. We've noticed it's not moving. That's the whole point. It's before, it hasn't started that momentum going. That's why you need to go back to this and sort this out first of all, to actually get that motion, get things moving. But I will also say, it's a bit of a warning this week, really, isn't it? Sort of thing. I will say, don't rush into things. It's all very well having a Wheel of Fortune turn up, you know, and that, oh, what goes up must come down. It's not doing anything at the moment. It's stationary. So I will say that any changes because of those things that you've sorted out, because of those metaphorical puppies starting and, you know, babies and new things happening and growth and all that sort of stuff, don't rush into it. It may be a case that, yes, okay, you've got to stop at this point and take a breather. You don't need to get that wheel moving yet. Remember, the Wheel of Fortune, Lady Luck, it can go up, it can go down. So I wouldn't take any major risks this week within your life. What about, I don't know if you play bingo or something, that's a different thing altogether. But for this, don't do anything major. Don't necessarily put huge investment in. Check things first. Always check things first anyway, if it's to do with any type of investment, whether it's an investment of your time or investment of your money, either way. So you're not ready to move forward yet, but going back to here, you have the beginnings of something. You know, sometimes you can make your own luck. You don't need this card. You create the momentum yourself to move on, to utilize that growth that you started with those before tarot Three of Swords. That is actually, that I get quite excited now. So here we have the Page of Pentacles. Now normally he's looking at that pentacle. Here he's actually almost like picking the pentacle from the sun. I guess the sunflowers, yeah. It's always difficult when I'm looking in the camera. The sunflowers here. So he's realized that he can take that next step. That's when the momentum starts. He's a page. It's only small steps. Looking back at those puppies and the baby, small steps. Here, he's realised what growth there is around him. And remember, pentacles are all about security, not necessarily money, but it could be, but security within yourself. And this goes back to really that Three of Swords, that moment that you realise, well, hey, actually, do you know what? I'm really quite good at this. I'm taking control. That in itself has paid dividends in some respects, you know, with the way I am with my family and my friends, whatever's going on in your life. I can actually take some of that and perhaps build on it. Notice I say perhaps, because again, you're still in that Wheel of Fortune before tarot, that, yeah, okay, I've got to make my own momentum here. I don't want to just move rushing forward or anything like that. It's time to, yeah, do you know what? Take control of the situation. And only then will you get the Fool. And he hasn't got anywhere near, has he? No, he's nowhere near the edge of the cliff. He's got his dog there. He's like, come on, the dog's going to come on. But look at all these wonderful roses. And that's what he's going to pick, that rose. And he has a rose. He's holding a rose, isn't he? Yes, he's at his hat, his feather in his hat. He's holding the rose. Here he's about to pick it. He's about to choose the bloom he wishes to take with him. And remember, white is purity and roses are love. So this whole, if you go back to that Three of Swords, like, oh, you know, a lot of people say, I keep saying, you know, don't I? I'm terrible. You don't necessarily know, but there we are. If you think about the Three of Swords, people tend to look at it because he's got a big heart. Oh, it must be to do with emotions and things like that. Well, it's not a cup, is it? But it's the way you deal with people. And this here, he is choosing. He's not utilize that Wheel of Fortune because he's created his own momentum. He's set off on his travels with love, with perfect love because it's white and pure thoughts. So this is very much a week of, I'm going to say, calmness. You need to keep calm this week about things, and you need to nip things in the bud before it gets out of hand. So we'll utilise, perhaps you're at work or something like that, and you can see something like that, that's not going to work. Or if they do that, mention it. You don't have to go like running into the managing director's office and, banging on the door saying, you can't do that, Just say, do you know, I've just thought about this. Very calm. So, literally say, well, I think if you move on this path, this could happen. It could be a bit of a mistake. How can we think about solving that problem before it even happens? Now, they could completely ignore you, because that does happen sometimes. Some people don't like being told that perhaps there's an error in their judgment and things like that. But if you do succeed, that's it. That gives you that whole confidence to step forth on a brand new journey of discovery and of excitement, and a little bit of wariness. I don't know which direction I'm going in, but nevertheless, it's that feeling of joy, and almost like you feel complete, ready to start anew. So this is a wonderful week, but it is very important, or I can get to it, that I'm going to say you keep your eyes and ears open, and keep your heart open as well. It's open at the moment. So just see what's going on around you in whatever aspect of your life. It might be in all aspects of your life, you never know. And then head it off at the pass. And then you can move on and become the fool. Anyway, have a fantastic week. I will see you soon. Have a calm week. Bye for now.